Tonight, the National Youth Council outlines its internal investigation process into alleged sexual misconduct. The Catholic Church calls for a thorough investigation into the NYC scandal. And the former principal of the St. Mary's College says to salvage the reputation of the National Youth Council, it must ask that its embattled senior official leave. The details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Thursday, the 13th of May, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovelace St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. An independent committee will spearhead an investigation into sexual misconduct claims against a senior official of the National Youth Council. The NYC released a statement today, Thursday, detailing the process that will unfold to ensure a fair and thorough investigation. An investigation that the council has promised will conclude on the 25th of June. The NYC executive member at the center of the sexual misconduct scandal has agreed to immediately proceed on a leave of absence. The St. Lucia National Youth Council has been thrust into a most unflattering light following explosive sexual misconduct allegations. But the organization says it is taking decisive action to ensure a fair and thorough investigation process that aims to bring a timely resolution to the issue of the allegations against one of its executive members. An NYC General Council meeting was held on Wednesday, the 12th of May, to discuss the way forward. The Public Relations Officer of the NYC, Stacey Elva Laffey, says a safeguarding process will be adopted and put into effect immediately to ensure fairness and justice to all the parties involved during the conduct of the NYC investigation.
A thorough investigation will be launched over the next few weeks. The fact-finding mission was agreed upon by the General Counsel of the St. Lucia National Youth Council, the executive member in question, and the legal counsel for both parties. The investigation is scheduled to culminate on June 25th, 2021. It will be managed by an independent committee consisting of a stalwart of the St. Lucia National Youth Council, a professional that is qualified and experienced in dealing with matters involving sexual allegations and human rights, and a third party that is qualified in judicial procedures. The committee will report its findings to the General Counsel and advise on further action.
The National Youth Council chose not to disclose who the members of its esteemed independent committee are. The National Youth Council has, however, confirmed that the executive member, now marred by controversy, has agreed to a leave of absence.
At the May 12th Extraordinary General Council meeting, the executive member in question, in the interest of fairness, agreed to immediately proceed on a leave of absence and be relieved of all executive duties and privileges for the duration of the investigation. Notwithstanding that the General Counsel has the authority to reconvene at any point to decide on the final outcome of the situation, the body agreed to be guided by the findings of the independent investigation to adhere to an international best practice.
The NYC has agreed to provide psychosocial support to the parties directly affected by the situation. Additionally, the NYC has committed to the introduction of a standard office use protocol that will ensure the safety and well-being of every young person who relies on the headquarters as a safe space. This decision comes after allegations that some of the sexual misconduct was initiated within the walls of the NYC headquarters. The council has sought to reassure its stakeholders that a timely resolution to this matter is a focus to ensure that the organization can get back to its youth developmental agenda. Now, while an investigation commences and guilt has not been determined in this matter, which according to police sources does not involve a minor, the allegations have sparked wider conversations about abuse and exploitation of minors. An organization that has had to confront such issues is speaking out on behalf of children. The Catholic Church says too many times such issues are swept under the rug and the trauma that children are left to deal with is not considered. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
The news of an alleged sex scandal at the St. Lucia National Youth Council has garnered the attention of all sections of society. An investigation is underway to determine the veracity of the allegations leveled at a senior official of the NYC. Notwithstanding, another institution dogged by such allegations is weighing in on the matter, the Catholic Church. Archbishop Robert Rivas is speaking out generally against adults in positions of influence and power abusing their positions to prey on children. Although the Catholic Church has over the years been rocked by child sexual abuse allegations, Archbishop Rivas says the position is clear. The Catholic Church stands against all forms of child abuse.
Stricter measures need to be taken, and they need to be known to be taken, and that no one is exempted from the law, no matter who you are, from bishop, priest, deacon, politician, businessman, father, whoever it is, uncle, big brother, whoever it is, no one is exempted from the law. In the past, we have played around with these serious things and with children's lives in very cheap ways. Like, for instance, somebody abuses a child, a mother is poor, and the person comes and passes a little cash, and for a few dollars, the thing it becomes hush-hush.
He says in the case of the church, there are definite processes that are gone through when such allegations are made and the perpetrators are punished. He says the church also now ensures that parents are involved in any activities that include children.
No, I don't know what it is here in St. Lucia, but I believe that these are serious things, whether it's a teacher taking advantage, because in all these situations is a betrayal of trust. A child trusts a teacher or a grown-up, to protect them, to respect them, to look after them. And next thing, they can be coerced into situations where they are abused. So that is very serious, that betrayal of trust, and also the destruction of a young life, because this becomes traumatic. And I am told that the trauma never goes away.
Most often, abuse occurs at the hands of someone a child knows and trusts. According to UNICEF, at least 120 million children under the age of 20 have been forced to engage in sex or perform other sexual acts, although the actual figure is much likely higher. Archbishop Rivas says in such situations, victims are scarred for life.
The church is not the only institution, the Catholic Church is not the only institution that has been plagued by this, but certainly it was a targeted institution. And maybe it was providential, because what it did was it made the Catholic Church become aware of the problem. A lot of our clergy who have been involved in child molestation or pedophilia have paid the price for it. They have, many of them have been stripped of their function as priests. Many of them have been reduced in their ministry.
The alleged sexual misconduct or abuse case is currently being investigated by the NYC. As of May 12, the executive member against who the claims were made has proceeded on leave of absence. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Thank you, Genevieve. The integrity of individuals who hold public office is of paramount importance. So says educator Rowan Sion as the National Youth Council saga continues to gain traction. He says the National Youth Council must clean house by asking the embattled senior official to leave the organization to salvage its reputation. Sion, who is a former principal of the St. Mary's College, says what we are seeing with this alleged sex scandal is what can happen to any organization if the wrong individual becomes associated with it. Nisha Charles has more.
The National Youth Council has been thrust into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, with the high-ranking member of the council executive having been entwined in an alleged sex scandal with a student. The young man who leveled allegations of having sex with the senior NYC official is not a minor, as per the legal definition given that the age of consent is 16 and the teen is 16. The incident has raised questions about the organization and the characters of those it enlists to be at the helm. Educator Rowan Sion shared his views in the hot seat on Wednesday.
Because the problem here, that from what I understand, is not about the National Youth Council, but about an individual who happens to be a member of the executive of the National Youth Council. So the fault, my dear, is not with the council, but with the persons in it. And I think we just have to ensure that persons who demonstrate character weaknesses and behavior patterns that are not consistent with the higher standards of ethics, etc., are not allowed and not encouraged to enter these organizations. The same thing goes for political parties and everything else, you know, because scandals like this can take place anywhere. In a church, you can have members of the clergy and so on in churches engaging in behavior that is reprehensible as well.
In his view, the situation was rather unfortunate.
There's an individual who should have been no way associated with young people, whose influence on the young people clearly was inimical to their progress and development, and who should be asked to leave. I don't think there should be any question about whether he should be given any chance to apologize or to... No, you don't want it, because that would make the entire organization seem to be inappropriate, which is what's happening now.
Police have confirmed that there is no matter before them in relation to the alleged sexual misconduct. The National Youth Council has launched an internal investigation. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Stay with us. Still to come, the CDC announces that people vaccinated against COVID-19 no longer need to wear a mask indoors or outdoors. Hotels announced that unvaccinated applicants will not be employed in the hotel sector. And $1 million is up for grabs as vaccination is incentivized.